You take pride in being the reliable one, the person who never says no, the one who keeps the peace at any cost. You call it kindness. I call it a sophisticated survival strategy. In this video, I'm uncovering the 4 hidden archetypes of the kind narcissist and why your inability to set boundaries is actually a form of emotional control. Each of these profiles is more damaging to your career and relationships than the last. You might recognize yourself in the first 2 immediately, but it's the 4th one, the Silent Saboteur, that is likely destroying your reputation behind your back right now without you even realizing it. Stick with me, because that 4th type is the one we're most likely to justify until it's too late. The first archetype shows up before you've even opened your laptop. You've already volunteered to cover a project that isn't yours, brought everyone coffee, and sent 3 just checking in messages before 9 a.m. This is the Martyr Complex, the overgiver. You don't help because they need you. You help because you need them to owe you. For you, every unsolicited favor is a quiet transaction, a debt they didn't sign up for. The more you give, the more leverage you collect, and the more you unconsciously want them to feel trapped by your generosity. Your kindness isn't a gift, it's a loan with invisible interest. But as heavy as the overgiver burden is, the next archetype is much harder to spot because it uses silence as a shield. The second type is when you sit at every important meeting with a calm smile and say absolutely nothing that matters. When someone asks for your honest feedback, you tell them it was really solid. Meanwhile, you watched that project launch with a flaw you spotted 2 weeks ago and never mentioned. Meet the peace-faking diplomat, the conflict avoider. You'd rather let the ship sink than create a single uncomfortable wave. At lunch, you're charming. In the group chat, you're supportive. But your silence in the moments that count is a form of sabotage, disguised as not wanting to cause trouble. Now, this is where it gets uncomfortable. The third archetype isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about using your own emotions to ensure you can never be challenged. Then there's the moral high grounder, the toxic empath. You're the one in the break room, quietly absorbing everyone's stress and making sure they know it. You've built your entire identity around your sensitivity, so the moment someone offers you feedback, even gently, even carefully, you feel wounded. Suddenly, the conversation isn't about the work anymore. You make it about how hard you try, how much you feel, and how unfair it all is. Your empathy has become armor, and you can't have a real productive conversation with someone wearing armor. We've covered the giver, the silent avoider, and the empath, but we haven't talked about the most dangerous version of nice yet, the one where you nod to their face while undoing the work in the dark. And then there's the 4th type, the one you probably never saw as a problem. You find yourself nodding enthusiastically in every meeting, agreeing with everything, making the other person feel genuinely heard. This is the Silent Saboteur, the passive-aggressive, nice guy. You never push back out loud, but back at your desk, the deadline gets quietly missed, the deliverable arrives incomplete, and somehow, in conversations they weren't part of, you've already planted seeds of doubt about their idea. You don't confront, you undermine. And because you're so agreeable to their face, they spend way too long looking for the problem everywhere else but you. So why do we do this? Here's what all 4 of these archetypes have in common, and it's the thing we usually miss entirely. We don't think we're doing anything wrong. That's the uncomfortable truth sitting at the center of all of this. On the train home from a difficult day at work, you replay the same story. I was the reasonable one. I was the kind one. I tried so hard. And you believe it completely. People-pleasing isn't about being nice, it's about being safe. Somewhere along the way, in a childhood home, in a past job, in a relationship that cost too much, saying yes became the strategy that kept things calm. The behavior made sense once, it just never got updated. If you're starting to see yourself in these descriptions, don't click away yet, because there is one specific question that can break this cycle. So what actually helps? Start with one specific relationship in your life, maybe a colleague, maybe a family member, and ask yourself, am I being honest with this person or am I managing them? Not judging, just noticing. That question alone, sitting at your desk or on your commute home, tends to surface more than most therapy sessions. You don't have to dismantle the pattern overnight. You just have to stop calling it kindness. Your awareness is the first move. Everything else follows from there. None of these archetypes makes you a bad person. Not the overgiver, not the conflict avoider, not the toxic empath, not the silent saboteur. These are patterns built on real pain and real fear. The difference between then and now is that you can see them. Which one of these did you recognize in yourself today? Drop it in the comments. Being honest about it is the first step to changing it. If this landed, share it with someone who needs to hear it. It genuinely helps more people find this work. New video every week. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Take care of yourself.